This is ULTRAHUMAN Ring Air. Been wearing this thing for 5.5 months. It's finally time to tell you about it because it has been monitoring my sleep, temperature, and movement for the last 5.5 months. Let's get into it. So first of all, big thanks to ULTRAHUMAN Ring for sending the Air version of this out to me and again allowing me to test and evaluate this. I've tested several wearables in the past. I've done the Whoop Band, I've worn my Apple Watch 24 hours a day, I've worn my Garmin Epics 24 hours a day. And what I love about 24-hour wearables is it gives you a really good health snapshot for not only how you're sleeping, but how you're recovering from fitness activities and that kind of thing. Now, I ultimately don't enjoy sleeping with something on my wrist. So a big Apple Watch, a Whoop Band just didn't actually cut it long term. I was really excited to try a ring, and I've been researching it for a long time when ULTRAHUMAN reached out for this test. What normally got me not really jumping into the ring game were two things. The first thing was I didn't really want to wear something on my index finger. The ULTRAHUMAN allows you to wear it on your ring finger. And the other thing was I really wasn't excited about jumping into another subscription service. That is where ULTRAHUMAN actually wins in this game. Now the ring is not cheap, but it's about the same price as an Oura ring or other competitors. And then you're done. No monthly or yearly subscription to actually extract the data out of the ring. So that is, for me, the big win. Sensors included, temperature and a PCG sensor which monitors your heart rate and a whole bunch of other things. And then also a 6-axis accelerometer that tracks your movement. Now really the genius of this is the heart rate tracking and all the metrics that it extracts. So really the genius becomes what the app provides you on a daily basis, not only pop-ups on your watch, but as you go to the individual app and read some of the statistics. Before we get to that, let's talk about actually ordering the ULTRAHUMAN Ring Air. Highly recommend you get the sizing kit. In the sizing kit, you're going to get a range of sizes of the ring to determine which one is best for you. Now, this is what I did, and I was in between sizes. My only real negative about this whole thing is we don't have half sizes. So you're either committed to one or the other. And I was in between sizes. So I went with the one that wasn't going to fly off my hand on a regular basis, but it is a little tight. Sometimes during the day, based off of this, the way your blood flow moves and your hands react to the daily temperature, sometimes it's a little difficult to get off, but a little soap and water, and I can always remove the Ring Air. So, pick the right size, but definitely get the right size by getting the Air sizing kit. Then once it arrives, what do you get? You get the ring and you get this charger, USB-C compatible, so you can just throw it in your bag when you travel. I get 4 to 5 days out of a charge. And it tells you and it warns you when it's low on battery, but that's what I'm getting. So normally only on my longest trips do I even bring the charger because the ring just lasts a long time. And even when you're charging, it advertises about a 90-minute charge. That's about what I'm getting, if not a little quicker sometimes. So that's awesome. Super lightweight, titanium band. It's fantastic. But what you really care about is what do you get out of this in terms of information. So let's dive into the app so you can see what kind of information the Ring Air actually provides. Now, the number one thing that I love about this thing is sleep tracking. So, of course, it's not on my hand, so it's giving me a little bit of a warning. But in terms of my sleep, now in this case, last night, sleep index was 86 and gave me some pretty good metrics and tells me what is in the optimal range. And consistency will track what time you went to sleep and when you woke up, talks heart rate drop, timing, and restorative time, which is cool. It monitors your sleep stages, gives you a little graph, shows you sleep cycles throughout the night, shows you a spike of your heart rate, what happened throughout the night, gives you an HRV zones, advanced sleep biometrics. There's just a whole lot of things get at it. And I don't want to dive into the science of all of it because I don't understand most of it. But what I can tell you is that it does a great job of monitoring your sleep and giving you, if I can get to it, below the sleep index, your sleep debt. Now, it's green, even though it's negative. It's kind of a double negative. Sleep debt negative is actually positive. So I have 42 minutes in the bank of my sleep debt. When I travel all the time as an airline pilot, I am really tracking that because sometimes you just don't sleep that great. And it is nice to see whether you're negative or positive based off of your sleep. So that's really the heart of what I get out of the ULTRAHUMAN ring. Now, just for comparisons, let's talk about what Apple provides, because I've been using my Apple Watch Ultra for a little trial here for the last 30 days, doing something, trying to see what the vitals and their fitness tracking really gets you. But here's what Apple provides in terms of sleep, time of sleep, and show more sleep data. So that gives you another super cool and useful, how's it compare? I don't know. Now, other things that I use this thing for, first of all, movement index, cool. It tracks it throughout the weeks. A movement index, which I don't really tend to use a ton, but it will tell, if you're a little sedentary one day versus the other, it'll track all that. Your stress rhythm is also something that's pretty cool to monitor. Don't get into that a ton. My dynamic recovery, I do track because I did a big event on Saturday. So I'm tracking my recovery scores using my HRV and heart rate to see where I am in terms of picking back up into a regular fitness activity. So that stuff is dramatically awesome. And those are pretty much it. Now, your individual markers throughout the day, it's nice to see what your resting heart rate is. It's nice to see what your cardio age is. It's younger than my actual age. Temperature is also awesome. The fact that this thing tracks it. Fortunately, for the last 5.5 months, I have not had a fever. But in theory, this would alert you that your temperature is elevated and that you might be getting sick. I haven't had that, really. Slightly elevated by 0.19 degrees centigrade. Anyway. HRV is awesome. There's a host of information you can get from your HRV. Resting heart rate, obviously, is good to track, and your VO2 max is also pretty good. So power plugs is another thing that they're just innovating with a ton. I'll just show you a couple of examples. There has a screen time one, which will link to your phone screen time, circadian rhythm, vitamin D. Those are just some things that I put on there. Caffeine window is new. Some pregnancy things and cycle tracking for women. There are some partner developers, which are giving you some AFib detection and some cardio adaptability. Those are subscription. I haven't tried any of those, so I can't verify their accuracy or utility. Some things that I'm excited about is jet lag, because I travel all the time, so I'll be looking forward to how that one works. Those are just some examples of how ULTRAHUMAN is innovating, and I have been getting continuous updates pretty much once a month, every couple of weeks, to the app and in firmware for the ring. So it's just a really great company in terms of bringing more capabilities to this tiny titanium wearable. The one thing that is, I say, good, but needs a little bit of work is the activity tracking. Now, it does say, looks like you did an activity from time A to time B. Is that, can we add that? Yes, cool. If you're walking, it's done that. I will tell you that if you're doing a more strenuous activity, that there's still no replacement for the heart rate strap that you'd wear around your chest versus a ring or your wrist. It's just better accuracy from the chest, obviously closer to your heart. But highly recommend the ring for 24-hour activities and 24-hour just health tracking, really, because that's where I'm getting the most benefit, is that sleep tracking. The fact that it's very minimal, fits on your ring finger or really any finger, and it just is unobtrusive, seamlessly goes with your day, and it just provides a wealth of data, including pop-ups. And so here are some pop-ups that I typically get throughout the day, just to give you an example of what it's going to, tell you. And it does a nice job of telling you when to lay off caffeine, talks about just circadian rhythm stuff. It's just a nice little additions to my day to help me stay on track with whatever I'm trying to accomplish. So highly recommend the ULTRAHUMAN Ring Air. Go check them out. Link in the description, and we'll see you in the next one. JB on Tech.